My husband Xie Wuchen is a genius swordsman and I'm just an ordinary person. Wuchen hates stupid people and stupid things. To catch up with him, I trained hard, but he stayed cold. You have no talent, you're wasting your time. Later he ascended and I remarried. On my wedding day, he stormed down to the mortal realm and held the sword to my husband's neck. You really want to marry this way? I blocked the sword, took my mortal husband's hand, and looked straight at Xie Wuchen. Yes, because he never called me stupid. Xie Wuchen sneered. Just because of that? I nodded seriously. Just because of that? The day Xie Wuchen ascended, the whole village came to celebrate. Was nearly trampled down. Big Yellow was so scared he just lay there, too afraid to bark. Jianzhu is so lucky. We laughed at her when she found the immortal. I was stunned speechless by the immortal's golden carriage. And the newly ascended Xie Wuchen looked down at me with pride. Master says you helped me, and the mortal keeps his word. Ask for anything and I'll grant it. For the 5 years I had Xie Wuchen, I dreamed every day of making him my husband. He practiced his sword, I worked this. He cultivated, I earned money. I just hoped one day I could win over Xie Wuchen. Xie Wuchen didn't like me, he only liked his clever junior sister Xie Yu. Junior sister Xie Yu was smart and pretty. With sword techniques she learned them after Xie Wuchen taught her just what. I practiced in secret dozens of times and only managed to throw chicken feet a bit farther. Xie Wuchen and Xie Yu caught me doing it. Xie Yu laughed so hard, she cried. Xie Wuchen hates stupid people, he frowned. Li Zhanzhu, you have no talent, don't waste your time. Oh brother, mortals have short lives, a lifetime passes in the blink of an eye. Xie Yu told him, one lifetime for an immortal is just a moment. It won't delay us from sealing the Taoti. Xie Wuchen looked miserable. He was afraid I'd ask him to stay by my side forever. Right then his robes fluttered, he looked noble and distant. Nothing like 5 years ago when he was on his last breath. And I had to feed him rice porridge. Immortal Xie could never be Li Zhanzhu's husband now. Then I won't cling to him anymore. I thought about it and picked up Big Yellow. Cure Big Yellow's illness and we're even. Xie Wuchen froze, but he quickly realized this was a good deal. He raised his hand. Big Yellow, who hadn't eaten in 3 days, rolled over and happily ate the leftovers. Xie Yu happily tugged at his sleeve. Senior brother, your ties are cut. Let's go back and report. Xie Wuchen looked back at me. His expression was complicated. The immortals left and the clouds scattered instantly. The guests sighed and quietly pocketed their gifts. Jia is so dumb, she used an immortal's promise to save a dog. I stopped the matchmaker before she could leave too. Auntie Zhao, do me a favor. What? Find me a man. I thought hard, someone handsome and decent. Matchmaker Zhao shook her head, half laughing. I wouldn't dare. That immortal Sai would strike me dead with lightning. I sighed, I kind of regretted saving Big Yellow. Should have made Xie Wuchen find me a man instead. To Li Zhanzhu, you still want the man or not? Matchmaker Zhao knocked on my door. Free of charge. What kind of catch could he be? The most famous pretty boy around. Can't lift a finger, born to marry into a family. How could he be any good? I opened the door, saw the man's face, and swallowed my refusal whole. I'll take him. People want most what they lack. I'm no poet, but the man before me looked like a perfect gentleman. Like a painted landscape fan, bringing a scholarly breeze when opened. While matchmaker Zhou talked, he bowed slightly. And when he looked up at me, his ears turned red. That refined look made my eyes go wide. My family, the Li Zhanzhus, haven't had a scholar for 3 generations. Matchmaker Zhou nervously glanced at the young man. Wiped her sweat and tucked her handkerchief back in her clothes. Shen Tangguang, no wife, no parents, no debts, 25, barely literate. Li Zhanzhu, no parents, no debts. Last man became an immortal and left. He's never coming back. I scratched my head. I can raise pigs and farm. You just stay home, Queen, Su, and Reid will make a good life. Sound good? Those tender eyes smiled as he nodded, making me feel like I was walking on clouds. It was settled. Matchmaker Zhou breathed a long sigh of relief. Auntie Zhao, the matchmaker fee. No need, no need. I was puzzled why the stingy matchmaker Zhou didn't want money. She'd already rushed off. I looked at Shen Tangguang. That slim waist looked better and better. How was he not better than Xie Wuchen? I nodded with satisfaction. Shen Tangguang's stomach rumbled. Right on cue, his face turned red. I can't stand seeing a handsome man go hungry. I rolled up my sleeves. I'll make you some noodle soup with 2 eggs. Shen Tangguang ate so neatly and gracefully. He cleaned his bowl so well it barely needed washing. When he noticed me watching, he shyly wiped the corner of his mouth. Not like Xie Wuchen and Xie Yu. Xie Wuchen fasted and always said my cooking smelled bad. Xie Yu feared getting fat. She picked at her food and only ate vegetables. That night, I lay in bed happy, planning how to live our life. Shen Tangguang could read. From now on I wouldn't have to draw pictures to keep accounts. But what if he refused to help me with the books? Xie Wuchen could read them, but wouldn't help me. 4 years ago the egg buyer Zhang Masi cheated me. Swindled half a basket of eggs. When I came home crying, Xie Wuchen barely glanced at me. Blame yourself for being stupid. Why doesn't anyone else get tricked? I told Xie Wuchen I wasn't born stupid. At 5 I had a high fever, and after that I wasn't smart anymore. I got cheated when I sold things and cheated when I didn't. 3 years ago, I sold 2 chickens. On the way back I saw a beggar covered in sores lying there. I felt sorry and gave him half the money. Xie Wuchen saw and sneered. That's a con artist. Look, the sores are painted on with dye. They wash off in the red. I sighed with relief, watching the beggar limp away. That's good then, good he's not sick, otherwise it would hurt so much. Xie Wuchen was silent for a moment, then sneered at me, idiot. Fool, dummy, moron, idiot. I got used to him calling me that. Forget it, he's gone, no use holding a grudge. I was planning how to convince Shen Tangguang next door to help with my accounts. And suddenly a gust of wind blew the door open, I got out of bed to close it. A shadow slipped in, nimble as a cat. Before I could turn around, a hot body pressed against my back. In my ear came a satisfied sigh. So fragrant, how can you smell this good? It was Shen Tangguang. In the moonlight, his inner robe hung loose, revealing skin like some seductive demon. His hands looked thin and delicate, weak even. So how could they grip my sash like beast claws? He wrapped his arms around me from behind and coaxed in a low voice. Jianzhu young master, she ascended, aren't you lonely? Really, I have big yellow and the chickens, ducks, and geese. It's lively. I looked at him confused. What about you, are you cold? He leaned against the door watching me pull his clothes close. I was focused and didn't see the huge beast shadow Shen Tangguang cast down the wall, trying to swallow me whole. Shen Tangguang tilted head studying me and smiled lightly. He smiled so beautifully I started floating again. Thinking about him coming here all alone without even a change of clothes. Tomorrow I'll sell eggs at the market and buy cloth to make you some good clothes. I thought about it's getting cold, first we need winter clothes. And we need red cloth for our wedding. Once dressed, Shen Tangguang 沉到在了眼. Jianzhu, I'm hungry. I had dough in the kitchen for making dumplings. I kneaded the dough and heated the pan, working in some soft sugar now, and fried the pale dough golden on both sides. The autumn firewood had oil in it, burning it gave off a toasted smell. Shen Tangguang propped his head out, watching me intently. I wiped the sweat from my forehead. The kitchen's messy, wait outside. I'll keep you company. The candlelight lit up Shen Tangguang's features, and when he smelled the aroma, his eyes gleamed darkly. Waiting for food to cook is more satisfying than eating it. It's hot. I looked at him anxiously. The outside is crispy, not dirty. I was afraid he'd frown at the golden crust and my hands like Xie Wuchen, and call it dirty. How could it be dirty? Shen Tangguang bit into the sweet filling and smiled with his eyes narrowed. I finally figured out what Shen Tangguang reminded me of. A fox-turned scholar. Full and satisfied, he curled up by my bed. I half expected him to lick his non-existent fox tail. Jianzhu, tell me about yourself. About. I don't have much worth telling. My name is Jianzhu. I don't remember anything before I was 5. When I was 5, a plague hit our village. My parents died, leaving just me, but days of fever burned out my brain. Neighbors gave me scraps to eat. I grew to 6 or 7. Farmers have kind hearts. Farm kids grow up fast. I collected firewood scraps and fallen grain. I even found 2 sick chickens. At 7, in the autumn rain, I held those 2 sick chickens, waiting for someone to claim them. Sick chickens spread disease. Nobody wants them. You take them. Sick chickens got better. Chickens lay eggs, eggs hatch chickens. Heaven doesn't let the sparrows starve. Look, Jianzhu may be dumb, but she's good with animals. Other folks' chickens don't lay eggs. Li Jianzhu's chickens lay double yolks. At 12, I found Big Yellow being pelted with rocks by kids. Nobody wants you either. Big Yellow wagged his tail and whimpered. With Big Yellow, I had my first family member. Then at 14, I found Xie Wuchen. His clothes were tattered, he was unconscious, and he clutched a rusty sword. Even so, you couldn't hide his divine beauty. With flawless skin, like a lotus flower immortal. The sun was blazing, I was afraid he'd get burned, so I held 2 lotus leaves over him all day. I waited all day, nobody said he was unwanted. Jianzhu, you take it. Village chief told me I couldn't take things unless someone said they didn't want them, otherwise it's stealing. At sunset, I looked around furtively. Under cover of darkness, I stole Xie Wuchen home. I propped myself up to look at him. From every angle, it seemed wasteful. So wasteful. Such a big man just thrown away. I counted on my fingers. Before, my family had 3 people, my dad, my mom, and me. Village Shifu said 3 people make a family. Now I have Big Yellow, and this big living person. So he's the dad, I'm the mom, and Big Yellow is Jianzhu. Li Jianzhu has a family again. But Xie Wuchen was badly hurt. I cooked rice porridge and chicken soup and fed him bit by bit. On the 3rd day, he opened his eyes. First thing, he grabbed his sword, pointed it at me, and looked around wearily. Where is this? Who are you? Later I learned he was a sword disciple from Lingchen Peak who fell to the mortal realm after a failed ascension. No wonder there were thunder and rainstorms recently. Lingchen Peak cultivators were going through tribulation. The injured Xie Wuchen stayed at my place, waiting 5 years to prove himself to the heavens again. Xie Wuchen's hands were made for sword. I couldn't bear to let him hold a sickle. Auntie Liu who sold tofu laughed at me. Jianzhu, you don't make your child husband work. I shook my head and wiped my sweat. He's not a farmer, it would just tire him out. What good is a man who eats for free? At least have him chop some wood. Auntie Lu snorted. Only Jianzhu is dumb enough to treasure a rock. But when he chops wood you don't see. He can read too. He's a scholar, he'll help me with the books, don't worry, Auntie. That was my first lie. Xie Wuchen wouldn't chop wood or help with my accounts. He stayed because he found the village had abundant spiritual energy. My training is actually twice as effective. I put the egg custard in front of Xie Wuchen, looking at him eagerly. If you haven't gone back in 5 years, could you stay and build a life with me? He gave me a cold look. I will return to Lingchen, and when I do, I'll repay everything I owe you. You don't owe me anything, but if it's convenient, help me keep track. I felt a bit sad. I can't do the math. People always cheat me. Idiot. Xie Wuchen. Why do they only cheat you and not others? Yeah. Why do they only cheat me and not others? I puzzled over it all night but couldn't figure it out. But I didn't think Xie Wuchen disliked me. He just disliked all stupid people and thin. Because in the 3rd year, his junior sister Xie Yu came to the door. That's when I realized Xie Wuchen could actually smile. Watching Xie Yu affectionately take Xie Wuchen's arm. I wasn't actually unhappy. I figured now there were 3 people in the house. Like village chief Lee said, it was a family. Big Yellow couldn't become Li Zhenju, so he just stayed Big Yellow. When I told Xie Wuchen and Xie Yu, I hoped the 3 of us could become a family and live happily together in Li family village. Xie Yu first widened her beautiful eyes, then laughed until tears came out. She pointed at Xie Wuchen, whose face was dark as iron, making faces. Senior, this village girl wants to be your wife, ha 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 ha. Xie Yu misunderstood. It wasn't about being husband. I just wanted to find family, to depend on him for a long, long time. If we could be husband and wife for life, that would work too. She's got problems, don't listen to her nonsense. Xie Wuchen looked furious. After Xie Wuchen got angry, Xie Yu didn't dare joke anymore. Xie Yu sat on the wall, plucking a peach blossom and sighing. Master said your tribulation of love in the mortal realm is harder than others. I worried about it for so long. Others have princesses and noble ladies, obsessed for 3 lifetimes. How come you the first sword cultivator senior? Xie Wuchen looked insulted. He cut down the wild peach tree outside the low wall with 1 strike. She has not my tribulation. I didn't really understand what tribulation of love meant, but I could guess that Xie Yu was special to Xie Wuchen. Xie Yu was pretty and smart. When she came with me to the market out of curiosity, just standing by the stall, eggs that took all day to sell were gone in 1 morning. I forget cheating her. They didn't even haggle, and they stuffed lots of treats and sachets and trinkets into Xie Yu's pockets, making her giggle. On the way back, I carried empty baskets, but my heart felt heavy. I felt Xie Wuchen was right again. Otherwise, why didn't they cheat Xie Yu, only me? Senior, you can't just drift like this. Why don't you 2 get married, a fake marriage to trick the heavens? Otherwise in 2 years when the thunder tribulation comes you still won't. Xie Yu sighed. When the time comes to ascend, whatever gold, silver and jewels she wants, just reward her. Xie Wuchen didn't want to but had no choice. Half a year later, I happily bought a bolt of red cloth, made Xie Wuchen a set of clothes and cut myself a bridal veil. After bowing to heaven and earth, we were married. Xie Yu was overjoyed, saying she saw Xie Wuchen love star flicker and die. He definitely passed the tribulation. The love star flickered and died, like sparks in a pile of dry grass in the furnace. I snuck several looks at Xie Wuchen, only seeing his cold, aloof eyes. He had no trace of mortal desire. Even the bright red clothes looked plain. Like a red lotus in an August pond, no matter how brilliant it blooms, it still keeps everyone at a distance. After getting married, Xie Wuchen wouldn't let me get close to him, or let me call him husband. Okay, husband. I thought silently to myself. I thought after marriage we'd be devoted to each other. Couldn't hold him back. I copied how Xie Wuchen taught Xie Yu, gathering energy and focusing, throwing the rice in my hand like making sword gestures. And I dropped the chitin feed bowl on the ground. The bowl fell on the ground, spinning around a few times. I rushed to pick it up, but tripped and fell. I dusted myself off and heard Xie Yu laughing again. Saw Xie Wuchen's dark face. Xie Yu laughed until she was tired. Sanju is so pitiful, I can't even feel jealous. Xie Wuchen glanced at me coolly. He didn't call me an idiot like usual, but somehow made me feel even more embarrassed. You have no talent, don't waste your time. Even then, I hadn't given up on Xie Wuchen. I helped him sew a sword bag and made a tassel. He didn't want them, threw them all away. I begged him to go with me to the market to sell chickens. He had a sword. People would see him and wouldn't bully me. Xie Wuchen refused. It was Xie Yu who said at the market last time she smelled the fierce beast Taoti. Only then did Xie Wuchen go with me. He didn't want people to think we were connected, so he stayed far from me. If some busybody asked if he knew Li Zhenju who sold chickens, Pierre Wuchen would shake his head and deny any connection. I don't know her. Countless girls stole glances at him as they passed, throwing handkerchiefs at him. Though he held his sword unmoved, he wouldn't dodge with disgust like he did with me. The moon was big and round on the way back. I made small talk. I said I made 40 coins selling chickens today, but I saw an old beggar by the roadside covered in sores. So I gave that beggar 20 coins. Because he was covered in sores and had to show them to people, very pitiful. That's a con man, the sores are painted on. You got cheated. How do you know? Xie Wuchen was a cultivator after all, he had insight. So if you said it was a con man it was. But he was too lazy to explain. It's okay, as long as he's not sick, otherwise how painful that would be. I've been sick before, so I hope others don't get sick. It's no fun. I didn't mention giving money also because I felt that beggar was a lot like me, displaying my wounds to beg for money. Just like me jumping around trying to make Xie Wuchen stay by my side. Didn't seem much different. Hearing me say this, Xie Wuchen just froze, then dropped the line. Idiot. I'd heard Xie Wuchen call me idiot and moron and dummy countless times, but none hurt like this one. I didn't say anything, walked even slower. Xie Wuchen didn't notice I wasn't following. Or maybe he did notice and was glad to shake me off. By the time I cried my way to the village entrance, it was very late. There wasn't a soul on the road. Only Big Yellow came running toward me from the field, wagging his tail. From that day on, I figured it out. I didn't want Xie Wuchen anymore, no matter how good, I didn't want him. But Shen Tongguang pressed his finger to my lips, stopping me. Long, had to overcome the tribulation he deceived heaven and heaven deceived him back. I was sitting sleepy, rubbed my eyes, didn't think too hard about what failing the tribulation meant. So Shen Tongguang, how have you spent these years? Shen Tongguang didn't answer me, just patted my back gently. Sleep came over me, I grabbed the corner of his coat. Instead of talking about himself, he told me a story. There was a cat who cultivated for many years and grew 9 tails. It went to its master asking for a title, wanting to become a cat diddy. The master said it had done evil before. So the 9 tails' powers couldn't be used for itself, only to grant wishes to mortals, until someone was willing to save it, then it could achieve enlightenment. The first mortal craved for mortality, the second mortal wanted treasure. 8 wishes granted, the cat had only 1 tail left. I thought about it seriously. Then why didn't anyone wish for the cat deity's dream to come true, to let him become immortal? Shen Tongguang froze, his smile deepening. Finally he met a child, like a pearl. The child didn't want gold, silver, or treasure, or mortality. She said, I hope you, cat deity, can become immortal. I must have been too sleepy and confused. I actually saw beast markings like a cat deity appear on Shen Tongguang's beautiful face. He popped his chin with one hand, and with the other hand's sharp claw tapped my chest. Like the cat deity, I grant wishes, in exchange for a true heart willing to let me eat it. Little Zhanzhu, I'm so hungry. 6. While Shen Tongguang stayed at my place, it was like magic. Every morning when I woke up, the firewood outside was chopped. The chickens and ducks were fed, inside and out was spotless. Even Big Yellow got a bath, all shiny and smooth. Shen Tongguang knew the people of Li Family Village had all been kind to me. If he saw anyone's family had work to do, he'd lend a hand. Oh, now that's a real man. Auntie Zhao laughed, clutching her handkerchief. Is so lucky. Shen Tongguang even had time to make me a ledger. He taught me how to read. He taught me twice, but I still didn't quite get it. Does Zhanzhu understand? I didn't, but I didn't want to be called an idiot anymore. I do. Shen Tongguang saw through me and patted my head. From now on when you sell things, I'll be there keeping track for you. It's okay if you don't understand. I'll teach slowly, you learn slowly. During the day, he put away that demon, like charm. He didn't seem so much like a fox anymore, more like a proper scholar. Don't tire yourself out. I can help that. And feeding chickens is dirty. Not tired, just a quick spot. Shen Tongguang propped his chin, his long eyes narrowing like a fox. Zen, got any other wishes? Want to go sell things together? Whoever bullies you, I'll eat them. I thought about it and shook my head. I actually wanted Shen Tongguang to come with me to sell at. But I was afraid he'd feel embarrassed. Shen Tongguang was so good. Even if he didn't want to, he definitely wouldn't refuse. I didn't want to come in that position. Then let's go to the market and get cloth to make Zhenju some clothes. Shen Tongguang was very handsome. On the road all the young ladies and wives stared at him. Bold girls ignored me and flirted with him. Whose young master is this? Is he married? Shen Tongguang took my hand and smiled slightly at them. Yes. Belongs to Li Shangzhu's family. I don't know why, but when Shen Tongguang said that, my heart swelled. Walking down the road, I even dared to lift my head. Shen Tongguang had money. He pulled me through the silk shop door. Everywhere was silk and satin. I didn't dare look. I gently tugged the corner of his cloak. Shen Tongguang, I can't afford this. He winked at me, signaling me to relax. Your husband can afford it. Shen Tongguang paid 10 taels of silver and had 2 sets of ethereal red clothes made. He said to wear them on our wedding day. This was my first time wearing. It felt so good, like cool water flowing on my skin. Shen Tongguang took me through the market buying lots of rouge, powder, hairpins, and jewelry. Looking at myself in the mirror, I realized I was already a 19-year-old young woman. We browsed from noon till dark. Shen Tongguang even bought 2 bottles of good wine. This wine is good. When we get married, we'll buy wine this good. This was also my first time drinking wine in all my years. Shen Tongguang could really eat, but couldn't hold his liquor, not even as well as me. Jianzhu, are you happy? Satisfied? Do you want anything else? I nodded hard, then shook my head. I don't want anything else, this is already so good. Shen Tongguang, drunk and hazy, lifted his chin proudly. This is nothing. Even glory and wealth, titles and honors, this lord can grant. Even a commoner wanting to be emperor is just this divine beast nodding. I bit my chaozi. Though I didn't understand, I really admired Shen Tongguang. Husband is amazing. Shen Tongguang was very drunk. He leaned in, studied me carefully in the moonlight. Then give me your heart to eat, okay? I nodded. Okay. I answered too quickly. Shen Tongguang got unhappy. Silly Zhenzhu, do you know what I mean? I know. I may be silly, but I'm not that clueless. Shen Tongguang wasn't human, he was a demon who ate hearts to gain power. But so what? No one had ever treated me this well. He bit my cheek lightly. And sighed. Tisk, so easy to fool, it actually makes one feel bad. 7. Shen Tongguang and I were getting married, not sneaking around like with Xie Wuchen. Shen Tongguang's Zugufi was beautiful. He sent invitations to everyone in Li Family Village. Shen Tongguang's hands were skillful. He cut double happiness characters and pasted them on Big Yellow's doghouse. Shen Tongguang was so doubtful. He was worried the tavern people, so he hired an ox cart with me to go pick up the wine. The autumn weather was nice and cool. The ox cart moved slowly, but we weren't in a hurry. Shen Tongguang picked a little yellow flower and tucked it in my hair. The wine jars clinking together on the cart made a tinkling song. Shen Tangguang lay there with a piece of foxtail grass mouth hands behind his head watching the geese fly overhead. I suddenly feel so happy. Maybe being an ordinary person isn't so bad. On the wedding day, everyone who came was someone who had helped Wei Zhenju. Da Huang barked happily. Zhanjiu was getting married. Her parents could finally rest in peace. Village chief Lu wiped away his. Let's not talk about sad things on such a happy day. You looked at Shen Tangguang with a smile so wide it wouldn't close. What a handsome husband. Joe lucky breaks come to simple folks. Under his sleeve, Shen Tangguang gently squeezed my hand. During the wedding bows before Shen Tangguang and I could stand up. Beard of sword energy from behind shattered the wedding tape. I recognized that sword. It was Xie Wuchen. I turned around and saw Xie Wuchen in his flowing robes. Seeing the angry immortal coming to demand justice, the guests all fled for their lives. Seeing me in my wedding dress, Xie Wuchen seemed lost for a moment. He quickly recovered and said with a sneer, Li Zhenju, are you really going to marry a monster? Xie Wuchen really knew how to hurt me. With one stroke of his sword, he easily destroyed the wedding feast Shen Tangguang and I had spent half a month preparing. The wine Shen Tangguang and I had specially brought from town was smashed all over the ground. Xie Wuchen's robes fluttered as he pointed his sword at Shen Tangguang. He's deceiving you. His kindness to you is all a trick. Xie Wuchen pulled out the magical treasure that his master had brought. When that golden pouch appeared in front of Shen Tangguang, he couldn't even maintain his human form on half his face. Shen Tangguang sat awkwardly in the mess on the ground. Half his face was human, the other half had turned into a beast. Just like monsters the storytellers always talked about, green face, sharp fangs, long beast claws. That brings disaster to the world. 3 years ago, my master wounded him badly with one strike. To recover his power, he needs to eat human hearts. I held back my tears and looked at Xie Wuchen with no expression. So what? Not expecting this reaction from me, Xie Wuchen froze. I couldn't hold back my tears any longer. They just kept falling. That Xie Wuchen who despised me and looked down on me actually reached out to wipe my tears. Xie Wuchen softened his tone. You fool, he wants to eat your heart. His kindness to you is meant to harm you. I fiercely wiped away my tears with my sleeve and stood in front of Xie Wuchen's sword. He's my husband. If you want to kill him, kill me first. Zhenju, don't be so stubborn. Don't be fooled by appearances. Xie Wuchen gripped his sword, and his eyes darkened. Don't you want a husband? Just kill him and my master will allow me to come down and be your husband for a lifetime. I figured it out. I don't want you. Without looking at Zhe Wuchen, I untied my handkerchief and wiped the blood from Shen Tangguang's forehead. Shen Tangguang lifted his still, human hand with effort and wiped my tears. Zhangwu, don't cry. He hasn't eaten, so it doesn't hurt. To reassure me, Shen Tangguang tried several times to change back to human form, but failed. He smiled awkwardly. He can't use magic anymore. He's half useless now. Do you still want to marry this waste? Wuchen was right. Shen Tangguang had lost his magic. The mess couldn't be cleaned up with a snap of the fingers anymore. I ignored Xie Wuchen and just squatted down to slowly pick up the broken porcelain pieces. Shen Tangguang got up and helped me clean up. He smiled. Even without magic, I still have this much strength. Da Huang crouched by Shen Tangguang's feet, glaring at Xie Wuchen. Jianzhu, are you that attached to the illusions he created? Those silks and satins, fine wines and delicacies, they're nothing but magic tricks to deceive hearts. Xie Wuchen was stunned. Now that he's lost his magic, he's just a useless person. How ridiculous. Wuchen, you've always looked down on me. You think I'm just a vain mortal? That I admired your immortal status and wanted to use your power to act tough. Now you think I'm greedy for chopped firewood, silk clothes, even a pretty face. I looked at Xie Wuchen calmly. Xie Wuchen, you know I'm stupid and dumb. So I don't have an immortal's wisdom, I'm just a mortal who protects her own. Now by mortal righteousness will know that husband and wife protect each other. Xie Wuchen, if you want to kill him, kill me first. Immortals can eliminate demons, but they cannot kill mortals. I protected Shen Tangguang. Xie Wuchen couldn't find an opening to strike. Shen Tangguang without magic was just an ordinary person now. We had to get up early and clean out the chicken coop. Then walk a long way to the market to buy and sell, earning just enough to get by. Sunrise to sunset, an ordinary person's life just repeats like this. But wherever we went, Xie Wuchen followed at a distance. Even without magic, Shen Tangguang could still read and keep accounts. When there were no customers, he patiently taught me. Oh, I heard Zhenju got married. I looked up and saw that Zhang Mazi who had cheated me out of my money. I protectively clutched my money pouch and moved closer to Shen Tang. Don't be so nervous, are you selling these eggs or not? I'm not selling to you. Let's do some math here. Doing business with me is a good deal. Idiot, you can't keep track yourself and then you blame me for cheating you. I didn't want to listen. My wife is kind and doesn't like arguing with thugs like you, if you can't do math. Shen Tangguang stepped in front of me, lifted his chin with a cold laugh. I know a thing or two about fighting. As it turned out, Zhang Mazi knew more about fighting than he did. Shen Tangguang lost the fight and I had to give away another basket of eggs. On the way back, it was already getting dark. Filled the sky, the field path was quiet. When this god regains his power, I'll rip out his heart and lungs and eat them. Shen Tangguang limped along making threats, feeling very embarrassed. I'm sorry, Zhangju, I wanted to stand up for you. I thought I could beat him. I don't know why. I only felt bad about the beating Shen Tangguang took. I didn't feel bad about those eggs at all. Turns out as long as someone's with you, losing eggs and being a fool isn't such a sad thing. I've lived for 100 years now. That's young for the Taodi clan, but I've never lost a fight before. He was lying. I remembered he lost to Xie Wuchen's master and to Xie Wuchen. Zhenju, even though I got beat up, I think being immortal isn't so bad after all. Shen Tangguang thought for a moment. Look at Zhang Maji, so what if he won the fight? He has no wife to protect him. How pitiful. Da Huang was waiting for us at the village entrance. He ran up happily and bit Shen Tangguang's pant leg. Oh, Da Huang, let go. Seeing Shen Tangguang looking so pathetic somehow, we looked at each other and couldn't stop laughing. Were you laughing at? I don't know. Were you laughing at? I don't know either. Da Huang didn't know what we were laughing about either. He just wagged his tail happily along with us. In this moment, it was like Taoti. Like immortals, those were all just legends. We were just an ordinary couple depending on each other in this world. In the moonlight, Shen Tangguang quietly took my hand. His shy initiative made my heart race even more than all his deliberate gestures before. How strange. Why did I think of that night when Shen Tangguang looked like a demon? I jumped, quickly pulled my hand back, and stammered. Shen Tangguang, I think I'm sick. My heart is beating so fast. Our eyes met, then quickly looked away. Tonight's new moon was shy, not good at hiding secrets. It let us see each other's faces were both red. I think I got hurt in the fight too. Shen Tangguang looked at me nervously. He pointed to his own heart. 煎煮. I didn't eat any sugar cakes, but it feels so sweet here. Da Huang didn't understand either. He just tilted his head looking at us, then barked 3 times angrily. Da Huang usually barked 3 times when he was full. Someone was at the door. It was Xie Wuchen. He had been standing there quietly, watching us laugh and play for a long time. Dew had settled on his clothes. He stood in front of me, holding that basket of eggs. Not used to being kind, he looked away uncomfortably. Your eggs, I got them back for you. I was surprised that Xie Wuchen would stand up for me. He had said he needed to stay away from worldly connections, so he couldn't interact with anyone. Thank you, but I don't need them anymore. Didn't you care about them? So he knew all along. He knew I really minded being cheated out of those eggs. I looked at the sword behind him, and his spotless clothes. I figured he probably just said one sentence to Zhang Maji, and the guy respectfully returned the eggs to him. What I couldn't get no matter how hard I tried, was so easy for him. I don't know why, but thinking of the past made me sad again. Xie Wuchen, no matter what you do, I won't hand Shen Tangguang over to you. But he's deceiving you, Xie Wuchen insisted. I'm not trying to trade you for Shen Tangguang. He thought for a while, finally made up his mind and spoke. Forget about Shen Tangguang, you are my love tribulation. From you, I understood pure love. I want to give that love back to you. We should be husband and wife from chopping firewood, feeding chickens, going to the market with you. Whatever he can do, I can do, even better than him. Unlike the coldness and arrogance from 5 years ago. When Xie Wuchen said this, even his ears turned red. He had finally awakened to love, so what? These 5 years I didn't blame him for being cold, I didn't blame him for looking down on me. I did save him, I did chase after him for 5 years. But love isn't a forced transaction. There's no rule that one person gives, and the other must accept. He didn't owe me anything. He could reject my heart. But he shouldn't have trampled on it like that. Xie Wuchen, I didn't want to be stupid. I wanted to be pretty and smart like Shi Yu. That day you asked me why people only cheat me. I figured it out. In this world there are mortals and mortals. If some people are smart, someone has to be the fool. Shen Tangguang is good to me, so I'm willing to be the fool. I'm willing to be deceived by him. When it comes down to mutual willingness, all the logic and accounts in the world make no sense. Wuchen couldn't speak for long. His eyes were half hesitant, half regretful. He finally realized he owed me an apology. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said those things to you back then. It's okay, you saved Huang. You stopped owing me a long time ago. I didn't want to hate him. It's like worrying whether the north wind will open the chicken coop and getting up in the winter night again and again. That's too exhausting. Shen Tangguang nervously tugged at my sleeve. Sanju, I'll never deceive you again, I swear. 1 winter passed and it was spring again with peach blossoms all over the. A school opened in the village. Shen Tangguang really became a teacher. Xie Wuchen also settled down in Li family villa. He opened a free treating and prescribing medicine for the common people. You came looking for Xiaofucans but couldn't persuade him to. I need to be here to examine my heart, seek my path and discipline my arrogance and rudeness. Xie Wuchen said this. I now understand why my master sent me here. When the green plums were still small on the branches, Shen Tangguang and I held another wedding. The guests nervously glanced at Xie Wuchen nearby. The sick and save Liu Xi hadn't picked up that sword in a long time. In plain clothes and straw shoes at first glance he didn't even look like a cultivate. If it weren't for the fact that he had crashed a wedding years ago, the people of Li family village would have forgotten this soft-spoken doctor even knew how to use a sword. There were quite a few guests. Even Zhang Maji came. He put down 2 chickens but was too embarrassed to go in and sit. There's a seat for you. I smiled. All guests are welcome. Uncle Zhang, please come in and sit. Better to resolve grudges than to hold them. Besides, it wasn't any deep hatred. There was also an old beggar covered in sores who left 20 coins as a gift. I thought hard. He looked familiar, but I couldn't remember who this old man was. But Xie Wuchen froze. The old beggar waved his hand, interrupting Xie Wuchen's shocked attempt to say master. The old man just brushed his sleeves and left gracefully. After welcoming and seeing off guests all day, night finally felt quiet. After whole day, even Da Huang's tail was tired from wagging. He slept peacefully in his nest. The room was warmly lit by candles. Only Shen Tangguang. Shen Tangguang in red robes didn't look like a proper teacher. He looked like a demon again, one who seduces souls and drinks blood. The red clothes made his eyes shine with such beauty that I couldn't look away. Shen Tangguang, have you ever done anything bad? I was so afraid he had done something terrible and would be struck by lightning. Shen Tangguang panted. I've never done anything bad. Taoli who do bad things until people get taken by heaven. But the clever Taodi clan, she learned to trade wishes for human hearts to eat. Years ago, I finally turned 100 and could go to the mortal world to eat human hearts. But right after leaving the mountain, I got slashed by Xie Wuchen's master. That old man wouldn't let me eat human hearts. He said I was stupid. Even in human form, I was still just a dumb beast. 10,000 years wouldn't be enough to achieve it. I'm so smart I wasn't having it, so naturally I had to ask him. He said when I meet a heart willing to be eaten by me, but I refuse to eat it, then I'll understand. Ren Changguan thought for a moment, then hugged me tighter, a little scared. Good thing I didn't eat any. Otherwise I couldn't have tasted Yandu's sweet cakes. But back then Shan Changguan was already 100 years old. He could still live thousands of years. He eats so much. What would he do in those 1,000 years if no one made him sweet cakes? When I'm old and dead, what will you do? Shen Tangguang pecked my face. I've thought it all through already. I'll wait until you turn into a little old lady after 100 years. When you die, I'll eat your heart. Then I'll be the most powerful divine beast, the Taodi Ting who commands wind and rain. The Taodi Ting can go wherever he wants. No one can control him, no one can hurt him. I looked at Shen Tangguang with admiration as he beamed with pride. So, what will you do once you become the Taodi Ting? Shen Tangguang back then would be so majestic. Too bad I won't be able to see it. The Taodi Ting will wait by the bridge of reincarnation, wait in the mortal world. No one will dare chase him away. He'll wait, and people will ask, whose young master is this? Who's he waiting for? Shen Tangguang lifted his chin proudly. Li Zhenju's young master, waiting for Li Zhenju, of course. Wuchen extra tap. I really dislike Li Zhenju. Not just because she's foolish, but because my master said she's my trial of love. Master said I don't understand emotion, don't love all beings, so heaven won't acknowledge me. 5 years ago Zhenju found me unconscious. The first time I saw her, I suddenly understood why my fellow disciples all said love makes no sense. I know she's pure and kind, I know she's innocent. But I had to tell myself pure kindness is just stupidity. Innocence is just foolishness. I'm Xie Wuchen, first sword cultivator of Lingjin Peak, admired by thousands. I can't be trapped by a trial of love. Besides, anyone worthy of Xie Wuchen should at least be like Xie Yu, smart, beautiful, and talented. But Li Shu is so stupid. She can't see through others' tricks or my disdain. She still goes out of her way to cover for me, lying to others and to herself. Old Lady Lu mocked me for freeloading. For my sake, she lied. Why bother lying? I don't care at all about mortals gossiping. Xie Wuchen, let me tell you my story. What's your business to me? I already know what she wants to say. About how she wasn't born this foolish, about her chickens, ducks, geese, and big yellow, about how much she wants a home. I don't want to hear it, don't want any connection with her. The sword pouch and sword tassel she made, I cut them all to pieces. The sweet cakes and food she made, I said they were filthy and disgusting. Despite my cruelty, she still agreed to help me with my heavenly path, to be my fake wife. She touched the wedding dress with the all over her face. But her money only bought one roll of red cloth. She used the whole roll to make me clothes, she only kept the red veil for herself. The clog shop owner saw her longing. He seized the moment and pushed another wedding dress on her. Li Shenzu lowered her eyes and lied again. I don't like it. Cultivators hate lies most. One more reason to dislike Li Zhenju. When she realized the beggar tricked her, the sadness on her face made my heart ache. But Li Shanju is a fool after all, she quickly comforted herself. It's okay, as long as he's not sick, otherwise it would hurt so much. Something deep inside told me, if I just said something kind to her, everything could still turn back. But what came out was, idiot. She froze. I knew she was crying behind me. I knew if I said one kind word to her, she'd forget all my cruelty. Li Zhenju's mortal husband might comfort her, but Xie Wuchen won't. Even if emotion floods like a raging sea, I have my own way to move mountains and stem the tide. Even if fate burns like wildfire, I will extinguish it. Master saw right through me. Wuchen, you're afraid. This disciple is not afraid. I am afraid. Unknown emotions are like the unpredictable way of heaven, terrifying. You don't understand emotion, don't pity all beings, Wuchen, you cannot comprehend it. Why can't I comprehend it? It's just that I owe her Li Zhenju 5 years of kindness. I'll repay her. Staff said, you showed me kindness. An immortal's word is gold. Whatever you want, I'll agree to. Truth is I had some expectations. I knew she always wanted me to stay with her. If she asked, I could stay, naturally, reluctantly. But she didn't want me anymore, she thought for a long time. When she looked at me again, her attachment was gone. Just cure Big Yellow's illness, then you won't owe me anything. I stared at her stung. I'm not injured, so why does my heart hurt? But Shen Tangguan isn't any better either. Choppy with feeding chickens even though silks and satin. All just simple spells. His kindness to Li Zhenju was just to trick her out of her heart to eat. But Li Zhenju is stupid, she can't see through it. I used the magic artifact from Master to suppress Shen Tangguang's spell. Without magic, Shen Tangguang couldn't use those tricks to deceive her. I thought this way, Li Zhenju would see his true face. But why do they seem even closer? Shen Tangguang taught her bookkeeping, carried loads for her. But without magic, Shen Tangguang couldn't stand up for her. Beating Shen Tangguang looked pathetic and embarrassed. I only said one thing to that pockmarked Zhang, and he scrambled to give me back the eggs. Carrying that basket of eggs, I thought Li Zhenju would be like me. Disgusted by Shen Tangguang's incompetence, disgusted he made her lose face. Then seeing me get justice for her, she'd leave him and choose me. But she didn't. She helped Shen Tangguang up, and the two limped home together. Obviously injured, obviously beaten and humiliated. Why could they still smile so happily? What Li Zhanzhu wanted was so simple, but I never understood. Zhanzhu doesn't hold grudges, she forgave me so easily. But I can't forgive myself. I settled in Lai village, treating villagers who'd once shown Lai Zhanzhu kindness. The grateful, pure eyes of those villagers reflected how shallow and arrogant the old Xie Wuchen was. I suddenly understood why Li Zhanzhu was my trial of love. Turns out what fools are born knowing. The smart must spend a lifetime learning. Extra chapter. All the school children within 10 miles know Li village has the most handsome teacher. No teacher is more handsome than him, and no teacher hits palms harder than him. Zhao Tianyu, you're done for. He made the teacher so mad his horns came out. Passing classmates laughed at Tianyu. Get ready for the ruler. Haha. Was Tianyu's neighbor, a loyal and chivalrous little girl. She put her hands on her hips. Tianyu hang on. I'll go back teacher leave for you. But what did you do to make the teacher show his true form? I didn't do my homework. Tianyu thought about it. Teacher Shen wouldn't get that mad over that. Puki found it strange. Just make it up and it's fun. I think I also said teacher Li's cakes weren't good, but I said it really quietly. Pui stopped in her tracks. Tianyu nervously tugged at Kui's sleeve. Why aren't you going? Kui shook off his hand. Hey, upsetting teacher Shen isn't a big deal. Even huge problems can be fixed by begging teacher Li. But you badmouth teacher Li. Not even the gods can save you. Just wait for your beating. Everyone in Li village also. Teacher Shen isn't human, he's a monster who should eat people. But after meeting his wife Li Zhanzhu, he switched to eating sweet cake. 10 years ago, a mortal came following the scent of Tat. The mortal said frantically, Great King Taoti, can I trade one heart for one wish? My heart is fresh and... Hearing the man call him king, Shen Tangguang stopped. Then hearing the man offer him a heart to eat, Shen Tangguang waved his hand. Xinzhi won't let me. Who's Zhanzhu? Some god in heaven controlling you. Not a god, the wife who makes me sweet cakes. The mortal muttered, looking at Shen Tangguang suspiciously. What kind of Taoti doesn't eat human hearts? What kind of monster is that? Shen Tangguang got really mad at that. Glaring at the man huffily. How rude. Li Zhanzhu's Taoti doesn't eat them. Days in Lai village are slow and plain. Even big yellow having little yellow, and little yellow having tiny yellow counts as big news. Everyone says Li Zhanzhu is the most blessed girl in Li village. She had a handsome husband who grew old with her and lived healthy to 100. 3 days before Li Zhanzhu left, she was still making sweet cakes for Shen Tangguang, quick and nimble. 3 days before, Shen Tangguang took her to town to buy so much flour and sugar they needed an ox cart to haul it home. That day was a warm autumn day. Little yellow flowers bloomed all along the road. Shen put a whole head full of little yellow flowers on Zhanzhu. The shopkeeper said Granny Zhanzhu was old and already foolish, so she couldn't speak clearly. She actually wanted to make 1,000 tea. Who could eat 1,000 sweet cakes? The shopkeeper laughed. My husband will eat them slowly, Zhanzhu said with a smile. For those few days, all of Li village was soaked in the sweet smell of cakes. 100-year-old Li Zhanzhu lay in her rocking chair waiting for the 1,000 sweet cakes to cool. The cakes went cold, but Li Zhanzhu never woke up again. The day Zhanzhu left, many people came to Li village. Folks from all the surrounding villages. Refugees who'd fled to Li village and eaten Zhanzhu's sweet cakes. Teacher Shen students, and his students. And a beautiful fairy lady. The fairy handed Shen Tangguang a pouch. A magic pouch, I don't need it, it's yours. The fairy also lied. It wasn't a pouch she did. Because the pouch was just right, not too big, not too small enough to hold exactly 1,000 sweet cakes. Time is cool and generous, like wine with a strong aftertaste. On an especially clear day, Zhanzhu was laid to rest under a wild peach tree. Right next to Big Yellow. Li village has a saying when good people who did kind deeds pass away. The sky stays clear for 7 days, making it easy to say goodbye. The villagers sighed. Zhanzhu was such a good soul, that's why the weather is so nice. When everyone was crying hard, only Shen Tangguang didn't cry. After finishing everything for Zhanzhu, Shen Tangguang just wiped his eyes and put all 1,000 sweet cakes into the magic pouch. Don't worry everyone, the Taoti King is going out to find Zhanzhu. The people of Lai village stood on the ridge watching Shen Tangguang's back, feeling like something was missing in their hearts, an uncomfortable feeling. We're missing Guan Li Xingzhu. Tianyu's child hid in Kui's arms. She and old teacher Shen were always arm in arm, walking slowly like that. After Ting Shen left, the village had 7 days of heavy rain. Thunder wailed, like a lone beast hiding in the clouds, crying. Everyone in the underworld fears the Taoyi King. The soul reapers fear he'll steal living souls, old man fears he'll steal her bra. They wouldn't let Ting Shen wait at the bridge of helplessness, they tried to chase him away. That day, Ting Shen learned to be stubborn. He hugged the bridge pillar, and wouldn't let go. Li Zhanzhu isn't here anymore, the Lingchen Peak master knew you'd come, he wants you to go to Lingchen to find him. He knows about Li Zhanzhu, the soul reaper tried to persuade him. Ting Shen stopped being stubborn, let go, and left. If that Lingchen master already knew, why make him come for nothing? The Lingchen master knew this ahead of time, said even if he'd told him earlier, he would have come anyway. Shen Tangguang walked alone. When hungry, he'd eat one of Zhiju's cakes. Sometimes when missing her felt too sad, he'd eat one too. The cakes would run out, but the longing only grew. He could ration the cakes, but he didn't know how to ration missing someone. One night with a big moon, Shen Tangguang was hungry. He reached for the pouch, then pulled his hand back. But hungry only. Otherwise the cakes left won't be enough for missing her. Master wasn't there, he only had Xie Yu leave a message. to the model world for 30 years. When he finds a pastry better than the one Zhanzhu makes, he can return to Lingchen Peak. Why make this fool wander the model world for 30 years? You already know what's coming. Just tell him that in a few decades, Zhanzhu will cross that bridge. Wouldn't that be easier? Resting her chin in her hand. If I told him, he'd wait on that bridge for decades. The mortal world is lively. He should find things to do. You said the mortal world is lively. Aren't you worried he'll meet someone better and change his heart in those 30 years? Reborn Zhu is free. So is Shen Tangguang. Master smiled gently, telling him to wait and him choosing to wait are different. Clever as she was, Xie Yu was confused by this. Him to wait, him choosing to wait, either way he's waiting, right? What's the difference? Shen Tang descended the mountain and began searching for pastries better than the ones Yanju made. He went first to the biggest restaurant in the capital, where they had the finest pastry chef from Yangzhou. The delicate flaky pastries were sweet and fragrant. Others praised them endlessly, but Shen Tangguang just shook his head. The pastries are good, master, but not good enough. But where they fell short, Shen Tangguang couldn't say. He could only keep searching. On another beautiful autumn day, little yellow flowers bloomed along the road. Nissing Li Zhenju Shen Tangguang transformed into Tiaoti and climbed a very high mountain. He thought no one was there, but a wandering traveler appeared. The traveler recognized Shen Tangguang and wrote it down. It's just as the ancient texts describe: sheep body, human face, tiger teeth. Shen Tang in his true form, cried sadly. And the good weather vanished, heavy rain poured down. The traveler nodded and noted it down. When it cries, rain falls. Tangguang felt embarrassed crying. He worried if he kept crying, the traveler would write that Taodi loves to cry. That would be too embarrassing. Shen Tang stared straight at the traveler. The traveler felt a bit awkward. Taodi loves to eat. These are cakes my wife made. I'll share half with you. The cakes the traveler's wife made, though not sweet, somehow tasted a little bit like Li Zhenju's. Shen Tangguang wanted to cry again. What were you crying about earlier? I was missing my wife. Don't you miss yours? I do, but I love wandering, love mountains and rivers. I just don't love being tied down. The traveler leaned against a tree, pointing to the Roland Sea in the distance. So many beautiful sights in the world. It'd be a shame not to see them. Look, isn't this beautiful? Very beautiful. I want to bring my wife to see it too, but she's gone now. In her next life, I'll find her and bring her here. With that thought, Shen Tangguang cheered up. Taodi wasn't sad anymore, but the traveler felt melancholy. Yes, I should have brought her along. The rain stopped. The traveler decided to go home. When parting, he waved the Shen Tonghuang and said the only thing Shen Tangguang loved hearing. We're the same, both finding our way home. Shen Tangguang would also go to Taodi Mountain to ask his fellow gluttons about the best pastries in the world. The Taodi were competing over the most delicious things they'd eaten to choose their kin. The best thing I ever ate was a man's ambition. Fu, the best is obviously a woman's devotion. Shen Tangguang had eaten none of these things. He stayed quiet. Someone recognized Shen Tang. Hey, you've been taught by the old man from Lingchen. You've seen the world. What's the best thing you ever ate? Why aren't you talking? Did you eat a true heart? That's legendary stuff. Someone has to willingly give it to you without regret. The Taiyao chattered, waiting for Shen Tangguang to say something delicious. Pastries. The beasts were confused. What's that? Pastries with a heart filling. Just pastries. Pastries with a bloody heart inside must be delicious. Just pastries. Tangguang was getting impatient. My wife made them. Very delicious. The beasts looked at each other. Never heard of it, never seen it, never ate it. Forget it. I can't help you guys. Shen Tangguang huffed away. He didn't even want the title of Taodi King they offered. And 30 years passed, Shen Tangguang wandered the model world, but never found pastries better than Li Zhenju's. Shen Tangguang returned to Lingchen Peak. Master said Zhenju had entered the cycle of rebirth. Tangguang asked quickly, what family? A good family with both parents who do good deeds. Master stroked his beard and smiled. She is old now, learning to speak. Since she is reborn, Shen Tangguang, come down to the model world with me. Zhenju can be your wife again. Xie Yu happily tugged on Master's sleeve. Master, let's go awaken Zhenju's memories so she remembers this life. I'll wait another 16 years, no problem. Shen Tangguang shook his head. What happens 16 years from now I can't say for certain. Maybe she'll come. Maybe she won't. For the first time Master couldn't predict the future and frowned. Xie Yu froze. Don't you miss her? You've waited 30 years and now another 16. Aren't you anxious? What if she falls for someone else? What will you do? But this time Zhenju has parents. Shen Tangguang thought about it, then smiled. It's okay, I have plenty of time. I can use it all to wait for. Xie Yu fell silent. Besides, I wandered the model world for 30 years. She's only been around for 19, she's still at a loss. Somehow, hearing Shen Tangguang say this, Xie Yu suddenly felt her heart ache, like she needed to cry rain for someone. Hey, Shen Tangguang, waiting all these 30 years, weren't you bored? Xie Yu really wanted to ask, waiting so long, didn't you feel resentment? When love can't be written on hearts, the mortal world is full of resentment and sorrow. Not bored at all. These 30 years I met many people. Went through many things. When I see Zhenju, I'll have plenty to talk about with her. What if she doesn't come? Then I'll save up the stories I want to tell her. When she's ready to listen, I'll tell them. Somehow, Xie Yu's tears fell without warning. The word love is so hard to understand. Master agreed to Shen Tangguang's request. In 16 years, he'd awaken Jiangzhi's memories. Until then, she shouldn't remember her past. Shen Tangguang left to keep his appointment on Qianyuan Bridge in 16 years. Master, will Zhenju really come in 16 years? Xie Yu kept wiping her tears, but I just did a reading. And in 16 years, there's no sign of romance on that bridge. Maybe heaven's will can't match human desire. From then on, Tianyuan Bridge had Mr. Shen. Mr. Shen waited by the bridge through wind and rain. All kinds of people crossed the bridge. Children, old folks, women, men. Mortals, immortals, but no one like Li Zhanzhu. At first, people talked about him. Such a handsome man must be a fool, not knowing to go home when it rains. Mr. Shen shook his head. You don't understand, I'm waiting for my home. People had their own lives, they got used to it and stopped asking. The second year, a boy with pigtails timidly handed him an umbrella in the rain. They say you're a fool, you don't use an umbrella when it rains. They're the fools. If I use an umbrella, it'll hide my face and she won't see me. The boy who offered the umbrella became friends with Mr. Shen. His name was Erzhu, his family ran a brewery. Erzhu loved to boast, no one wanted to be his friend. Mr. Shen befriended Erzhu because Erzhu boasted and made big promises. When you meet your bride, Erzhu, will provide all the wine for your wedding feast. Mr. Shen was very happy to hear this. Mr. Shen would tell Erzhu about Zhenzhu. Erzhu didn't really understand what was so great about Zhenzhu. So Mr. Shen bought candy for Erzhu. Is candy good? Yes. Zhenzhu is as good as candy. Erzhu still didn't really understand how good, but having candy was good. Mr. Shen knew Erzhu still didn't understand, but having someone willing to listen to him talk about Zhenzhu was good. The 10th summer, Erzhu got married to a quiet girl who always kept her head down. Is that girl good? Good, she believes everything I say. Mr. Shen pretended not to understand and just smiled. Erzhu pressed a handful of wedding candy into Mr. Shen's hand and blushed. Oh, I can't explain it. She's just as good as this candy. After Erzhu married, no friend was willing to listen to Mr. Shen talk about Zhenzhu. People came and went on the bridge. Mr. Shen was alone again. Later, Tianyuan Bridge saw wind and snow. Occasionally, some surprisingly heavy rains. But no one was curious anymore about who he was or who he was waiting for. 3 years later, on a perfect autumn day, little yellow flowers bloomed all over the Tianyuan Bridge. The morning sky had been clear, but suddenly dark clouds gathered. The Tao Di King is missing his wife. It's going to pour. People rushed home. By Tianyuan Bridge sat only a lonely Mr. Shen. When Mr. Shen transformed in autumn, heavy rain would fall from the sky. Some well-read scholar said, I know. The book travels with my wife says this is Tao Di when it cries rainfall. How many rains he'd been through in 43 years, Mr. Shen couldn't remember. Over the past 43 years, he replayed every moment with Zhenzhu. The pastries were long gone, all he had left were memories. Those memories were like pastries, he couldn't bear to think about them too much. Shen Tongguan calculated that in his past life, he and Zhenzhu were together for 81 years. If he met Zhenzhu 3 years from now, the remaining 35 years of memory could be saved for later. Shen Tongguan stopped crying. Thinking seriously, he suddenly noticed someone holding an umbrella over him. Somehow seeing that umbrella, Shen Tongguan suddenly felt his heart turn sweet and sour. Like eating the hawthorn pastries Zhenzhu made in winter. But with an umbrella covering me, the person I'm waiting for won't recognize me. Shen Tongguan turned around and froze in place. The girl holding the umbrella had a little yellow dog with her. The little yellow dog, seeing he didn't appreciate the kindness, barked at him 3 times. The rain stopped. Sunlight fell on the puddles, making tiny golden flowers bloom in them. The umbrella lifted slightly. The face beneath it was as bright as the little yellow flower in her hair. She wasn't crying, she just wiped her eyes and smiled at Shen Tongguan with crescent moon eyes. Which young master is this, and who are you waiting for?